Hi there, I'm Hannah Hembree Bell, founding attorney at Hembree Bell Law. And if you're considering starting the divorce process, there are 5 things you need to do right away. Number 1, lock it down. And what I mean by that is, unfortunately, as a divorce and family lawyer, I'm a bit cynical. And I advise my clients going into litigation, if there's some heat, if there's some drama, some potential fight, you need to assume that the person you're divorcing, your X factor, as I call them, you need to assume your X factor is going to be digging. They're going to be looking through your shared iCloud photos. They're going to be looking through your email if you've shared the password in the past, through your phone if he or she knows your password, through your social media, even your Snapchat, whatever they can dig into, you need to assume they're going to do that. So you need to protect yourself and secure your information. And with a caveat, you really need to work with a lawyer to make sure doing this won't tip him or her off and then mess up your case. But as a general rule, it would be such a disaster and break my heart if your X factor got wind, you were thinking of getting divorced, logs into y'all's group iCloud photos, moves those so he has copies on his Google backup, and deletes the rest. And you have none of your photos for the last 10 years. Don't let that happen to you. You've got to protect yourself. And look, while you've been married to this person, you've been in a fiduciary relationship, meaning you're supposed to put each other first and have a relationship built on trust and confidence. If you're going to get divorced, that goes away. And I say this, you're like, duh, Hannah. But I have to say it because so many times new clients come into this perspective, but he wouldn't do that. She would never. And I'm telling you, yes, he would. And yes, she will, because I've seen it. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to lock it down. Second thing you're going to do is make sure you have access to cash. This is really important. I'm a practical person first. Everybody at this law firm has been through some kind of family law. Okay. So we are going to give you advice, not just legal, because really you come to us and you have practical problems that may or may not have legal solutions. And having access to cash so you can pay your rent, your mortgage, so you can go to HEB, so that you can put gas in your car, that's important. And it also gets you access to a lawyer, because look, getting divorced, going through a custody mod, right? That is not cheap. You've got to get access to some money. So this is a time to phone a friend, borrow, make sure you can get into some savings account, have access to a credit card. Your lawyer and your legal team at our firm can help you think through how to best do this. But even if you're not going to hire a lawyer right now, you need to make sure you got to be able to get your hands on some money, because they don't take, I'll get it in my divorce at Chevron. Number 3, you need to make sure you have access to your documents. Some of those documents that may be back in some file cabinet in your garage very likely could be irreplaceable in your divorce case, especially if, like, let's say you've been married a long time and you need to prove some separate property claims, like stuff you owned prior to the marriage. And maybe it's a house. You've got to be able to create a paper trail from the time of that forward. Some of those documents are probably sitting in that old file cabinet. And if he or she gets wind that you're going to file, those files may walk right out the door. You'll never have them again. And then you can't prove your case. And like banks and stuff, they only have an obligation, at least last I checked, to have documents for 7 years. And you may need them for 20. So make sure you have access to that documents, scan, take pictures. If you can't remove them yourself and tip him or her off, get records and back that up, because we're going to need it in your case. Fourth thing you're going to do is you need an all but done plan. In my office, we call it the ABD plan. And that means you're going to work with your legal team, or if you don't have a legal team, you're going to do your best to come up with this yourself, of what you're going to do from the moment you press go and file that petition with the court. That's the thing that starts your case. So you need to know, how are you going to pay your bills? Where are you going to go with your kids? Are you going to try to stay in the house? What if he or she won't leave? What are we going to do about summer camp? What about Christmas? Who's going to do daycare? Who's going to, continue to be their doctor, etc. You need to have that plan laid out. Learn from my mistakes. You don't want to just like go into the divorce and like, oh, I'm going to get divorced, And then the other person knows, and you're like, oh, what's my plan? Ooh, I don't really have a plan. That's where I started in my divorce process. Our firm will benefit from that experience and not let that happen to you, because you're going to get an all but done plan. And finally, you need to have a grab bag ready to go if there is any kind of violence or threats or physical intimidation or just drama in your home. And what I mean is, and moms, we're used to doing this. Dads, if you're going with your kids to the zoo for the day or whatever, you know what I mean. You need a bag that can be ready to throw in your car with essentials for you and your kids if you had to leave for a couple of days right away. Now, put this in a place your ex is not going to, or your X factor, the about to be ex, is going to look for it. But you don't want to be, as some dramatic domestic violence sort of situation is going on, saying, oh, wait, I got to find some bottles. Oh, no, what about diapers? Or I've got to get my kid's laptop for school, or whatever that is. I guess laptops you can't really do, but you get what I mean. You need to have a bag of your essentials ready to go, so that if violence starts in your home, you grab your kids, you grab your bag and get out, or at least you have the option. If you have a lawyer, they're going to help you think through in your specific situation what exactly to do. But having that bag, you won't be sorry that you have that peace of mind that if you need to leave, you can. Of course, thinking through if he or she finds that bag, if it's going to set something off, that's the part we can help you consider what to do. Maybe you leave it in your car. Maybe you leave it at your mom's house. But don't let getting stuck together stop you from keeping you and your kids safe. So if you're thinking about getting divorced, probably also if you're going through a custody situation, these are the 5 things you need to do right away to protect yourself, your kids, your money, and your business.